Anyways, it shows I have 2 live streams. Let's check if this is live. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anyways, I'll say that again because I think my video didn't record. He's trying to belittle me. He said to me decades ago that I should remember him during the month of April. Remember that April reached. And then suck his dick and take her place. And then he plans to take me to a dinner party and say, how did we reconcile? You remember April and you took her place. El tipo es un bruto, un asqueroso, monstruo. Anyways, I just called the phone number on the back of the shop. And I have $3.19 there. Yeah, I have $5 in this. I was expecting that. I thought I had $1. I don't know. They give out dividends, I heard, to people. What else? What else? What else? What else wants to brag that there's a reason why Nicole Norton wouldn't become my Facebook friend? Is she dead already? I don't ponder scheme or like I can still remember her name and say I'm seeking the death penalty for Nicole Norton. Porque my Facebook account is an informal guide of like whoever I would run into. And would either accept a friend request or send me one that I'm seeking the death penalty for. Some people, it's like won't say I'm following Target on Instagram, but I shop at Walmart and I never follow it. It's not a big deal. He thinks that I'm menorita que llora por él. El tipo es un puerco, una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew, 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 ew. What else? What else? What is this number? Oh, it's 855-956. So $3 on this card. And then I have not even for food, if this is a trial towards them abusing me, not even for food. A lot of people that are liable like me, like I'm not liable for them, are shocked that I mentioned this a while ago. I know what's going on. Not even money for food, que si no se le puede dar dinero porque se come tuna, hay gente que se pone celosa. Se come carne petas, se pone celosa. He has someone que se desnuda ilegalmente que he goes. They're just seeking for gas to make their drugs. What else? $5. So I have $8.19. Where do I put it? Give me a second. What else? 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 Do I have to pick up from me? So there are definitely rapists, murderers, and thieves. Not even $20 for a meal from each one of them every day. Not that one has expectations, but that's customary for food. Some people say you can make miracles. Like a lot of people don't want it to become like so that people that can't provide for a lot of people don't ever feel overwhelmed that their $20 go to waste. It's like you can get pizza, of course, pizza with plenty of ingredients for like $9. Water. And for some people, that's it. They're like, that's a meal. I add fruit, so that's like $15. If I get a bowl of grapes with my pizza and my water, and that's overspending a little bit of the grapes, might not be like around the range of $3 to 96. They could be a little bit more. Sometimes we take the lower price ones first, or the price rises, or it, or and then like I've had like $5 for dessert, so that's a meal. Like $20 still gets people a meal out there. Like one, they have to settle for grilled cheese, for a burger, minus the meat. Some people do that. Pasta dishes. I am Maggiano's Little Italy. I had a lunch for like $14, and then I got myself a brownie and water at Starbucks. Sometimes if I have to compromise, like I couldn't get dessert at Maggiano's, but I got dessert like within walking distance. And it was a brownie that I like. What? Some people would be killing themselves if they were me. At this point, not even a meal every day. And I said I need like $50. Like I was thinking paisanos. But that's my plea. And also I have dating Kehlani, so I'm like if they give me $50 for each meal, thinking it's for me, then I can make it work with dating Kehlani. Like I could buy 2 bowls of grape and we could glaze out of it if needed. Ideally I'd buy 3. So they didn't even send me money during all this time. So they were basically pleading guilty during all this time. Y esta gente behind the scenes se canta rica gente fo. And they go bragging and they think that one's gonna kill oneself because that's what they want to say behind the scenes. I'm rich and I will even give you money for food. Ew, 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 ew. Dan un asco, gente. Dan un asco. Son una basura, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Sammy Cortez Rios. You can decapitate Gloria Margarita Cartagena. You can decapitate Gustavo Cáceres. You can decapitate Sonia Alvarado Chapman. These are leeches, so I can have the expectations that they could have at least sent me $20 for food every day, each one of them. You can decapitate Ramiro Gonzalez. You can decapitate Berlin Jean. You can decapitate Brittany Akerson. What's this? 6, 9. Also, we have many examples of this. Also, You can decapitate Richie Hill. You can decapitate Bonnie Valdero's Isabella. You can decapitate Shabbat. You can decapitate Marina Lorenzo Isabella. You can decapitate Regis Venegas. You can decapitate Richie right in 2023. They had planned already that if I was sent to homeless shelter, study patterns of people that have been abused in my family of origin, that he could rape me that day. So I asked for his phone numbers, have lunch instead. What else? 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 I ended up having sex with him on my terms. I didn't want to get violently raped. What else? He put his pretty opinions for him. Well, what else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Maria Martinez. You can decapitate the women's citizens that rape me, still in the person. You can decapitate the whole family of the women of the street. Now, when I was in my change, showing me pictures of himself, I think that the results of what is Stephanie, I don't know her last name, so relatively my relative that they went to have sex with their designers and talking to each other. And in outings and when they showed me pictures of the group, they picked up anything. They're minoritos. Oh, you can decapitate your most valuable. Nothing is always transfer money. Always through PayPal. My girlfriend making pay. Oh, if I didn't want to be aware, I wouldn't sign up for an online account with these people. I owe $22,037.42. There's all my naritos at them. Oh. So they're like, where's their bank statement of those $22,000? I haven't seen it. And it possibly shows like if they're in court because they so much. They rape people back in America. That they're like, if I do this on purpose. And that's why sometimes the cops are like, no, don't arrest her or arrest him. Do you need the reason wants to be in court so that we disclose what Arlene spent $22,000 on? Like we saw it, it's just for her and dating Kehlani. It seems like based on trends of purchases, even rent, even car payment. No. Don't waste your time bringing those leeches in and telling them everything. Sometimes they bring them in and they say, stop probing people and stop raping just to find out what someone has on their bank statement. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew. In the entire money that I were paying for was good. That was for me dating Grimani. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Where is the other one? I saw it earlier. Capital One. And there's USA. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? And USA. It may be charged off, but if it affects my balance on my credit score, I may pay it off. Or sometimes it comes back in a report. Or through a charge off. AT&T sometimes calls me and says, yo, it's still, there's some people that they charge off the account toward their collections for them. I can't remember. What those leeches love it when a woman knows how to pay her bills on time. And are they like killing themselves and chopping off their penises over me saying I know what collections is out loud? We gotta speak ever. No, no, I'm so bored. I'm so bored. So what else? What else? So What else? You can decapitate a Believer Lorenzo Acevedo. Ella se cree que es abogada, se cree jurado. She's supposed to be my sister. That could have sent me money or not gotten in the way of me receiving money for food. They kill for penis and vagina. They're disgusting. With how much she bragged to me that she's richer than me in 2020. Oh. Ella se metió en mi casa, me roba mi dinero, se hace pasar por mí, me roba mis vehículos. She drove my BMWs that I had in 1999 and I didn't get to drive my personal vehicles. These people are disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew, ew, ew. You can decapitate me how many sound systems that rate me the same money when you can decapitate non regular audience. You can decapitate a leech using the ladies or accessories. You can decapitate even worse than the instance in the same. You can decapitate accessories. You can decapitate accessories. I'm telling you, because I'm $8 or something. 8.19. Bread and peanut butter in my apartment. Water. I can even get a slice of 50 cents. In my purse. And can remove me that she's richer than me. She isn't. She's a thief. She's a leech. Robada morbosa. She's disgusting. Pero she thinks that I don't remember that she steals from me because I don't bring it up every day to her vagina. Doesn't remember that she steals from me. She's disgusting. She's disgusting. That's what I'm also the very much people say. They stay in my house without my permission. They steal my vehicles. They get in the way of receiving money. They steal my money. Disgusting. What? This else. You can decapitate believe a little so this is a leech. She's disgusting. Well, they just take. You can decapitate. You can. Charlie the stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, and gets in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate whoever sent me this message as long as it's not Jaden Kanani being abusive towards me. As to separate Jaden Kanani from me. You can decapitate everyone that's caused my starvation and they aim to kill. They're disgusting. They aim to kill. They just wanted me to bring up que la jueza Yeager se acostaron decades ago. And that's not a family reunion for Jaden Kanani. Before this happened, Jaden Kanani didn't even know who these people were. And if they know, it's possibly because they read the paperwork or said, you have an amicus, here's a phone number. Or if you need her help. Appointed by the court. Not like this is your second mommy. Él quiere asignar padres y madres a la gente. What? What else? What else? What else? He hoard all the dollars and the NCF and start going to his his words. Pero no pensando so lost my cabeza. He has no right to want to start. Ew, 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 ew. My parents believe no longer enough. It's not my fault if he got me. And I'm the same people. What I used to decir, pero de buena tenía riéndome con mis horas de like, really, you did that to me? Okay, because that's what distant relatives do sometimes. For real. And you may not have even been a part of the program if that happened. That's what people say. People are supposed to look at each other and be like, seriously, you went down there and we far away. Not like, yes, they're done, they're stupid. Some people wanted to get to marriage as a virgin. You can't be one by yourself. You can get virginal to your wedding or every sexual encounter. What else? That's like trying to pick la cuna de ella antes de nacer. Possibly, too. They're that dumb. You can decapitate it, Señor Ramirez Lorenzo. You can decapitate my James Oraciones sons and rape me, steal my money, and get away with it. You can decapitate Kingdom Mars. They just acquired groupies and to just acquired groupies. Oh, that you weren't even there when it was a minor on top of his dick. And they're like, before I've heard this from other people, from my videos, and the religious, they're like, so yeah, when he was 3 and she was 17, so this happened. And now we all hate her. We must safeguard his dick by raping him. No, let's go, let's go. You can decapitate Carol Christina, whatever her last name is. You can decapitate Carol Christina, whatever her last name is. You can decapitate Carol Christina, whatever her last name is. You can decapitate Diana Sevilla Perez. Oh, person to the PayPal. It's a harmless crime, just kind of called. It looks like it's a straight up who I do not is a word. Shop by NTAYIAFAY. I'm Tershop. My GoFundMe campaign is gofundme.com/f/Arlene-Lorenzo-. What else? Anyways, no one gets this class better than Lorenzo or as Lorenzo and as some people say. They do it with a smile. Even if me starve on purpose, my family for giving this class. It takes just a few seconds for people to understand that. So where's my what? That is just basically humanity industrialization. It covers fashion. It covers everything that a human does needs. What else? What else? What else? In the meantime, dude. The good to go people warn me. They're like, if you see this on the White House Facebook page, you're gonna be like, that's what's happening to me. So that's why there's a little mystery. But I'm gonna sue the behind to that court program one day for me being starved. So they can't supply them like a few bucks a day every day for food as a benefactor. Oh, they'll start fantasizing about that person, no? They'll be like, oh, that's their savior, Jesus came. Let's give her $25. They're looking for Jesus. What? Si vieron la cara de this joven Javi, so this one, so this one, si vieron la cara de looking for Jesus came. Because they're illegal friends, it doesn't sense. Legal se quedan todo hay tantos museos, hay tantos programas de televisión, hay tanto vida, tanto vida. So they want to burn it out, burn it all. But then they're like, why would the fuck out? Well, if your recipe not be shared, what if one of our recipes are burning one location? What else? I'm super tired. I remember it all. Maybe crying that their dad raped me. I never want to accuse him. Though he may have I shall remember the day because my mother raised me in one third possibly, if I remember that correctly, but in his case, he was in me screaming, get it off, he's not raping me. But then, that one was what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So de barbecue, no hay quien no entienda eso, me odia, me quiere. So para mí me odia, él no me quiere nada. Pero I hate you, I love you. That doesn't apply to us ever. Why? People say that that's the equivalent of having a baby and having to keep an eye on the baby 24/7. Porque that would have used to the baby. Mira, people go to that extent to say that. Some people say that he gets offended. He says, I wouldn't have ever done that to my baby brother, Ali. Porque apparently there are a lot of people, even those so yeah, I get I euthanize him so that he doesn't suffocate me during sex, but that's what he may be trying to do. And he's just this is like what is this? Fortune 500 CEO? Somewhere of his own take at least. And then it's like bullying me on the internet. For that. Because some people may know him if that's 9 years younger than me. As someone from the inside, I'm like, there's damn street family, they're so dumb. There's no family rivalry in there. No money for food. Or people say, nena, este es un alcohólico, literalmente. You think es speaking. Pero ya tiene liver damage y es menor que tú. Ya le está reemplazaron el liver. And then people say that's not normal either. Because she's not the one that literally accusing him or trying to kill him. Anyways, what else? So, where's that picture? Let's see. Let's see what else. Where's the screenshot of it? So they would have even court. Let's see. People just treat many cases. I'm gonna get the language. Hallelujah. Millions of people were listening. Okay. What? So I'm bored. You can hang up or something. This message. You're supposed to be able to laugh with the person that raped you, not harbor hate. It's not healthy for anyone to harbor hate. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Porque the person that raped you, maybe like someone did this. And then you're like, oh, I'm just here. If it weren't for this good construction, this one thing. We're still been built because someone else could have. We can't like rely on that person too much for them not to get the penalty for raping someone. Everyone's replaced. Except vaginas and dicks and definitely. Yeah. There's legal prostitution. Visibly. What else? FBI. I'm talking to the people here. Not even tagging the FBI. And they confer. I've heard about that. Some people that have immunity. They're like, is this a good time now? What else? 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 Some of them are like, why am I gonna stop stealing from her? If she was on Facebook this time, I didn't stop stealing from her. Why am I gonna steal from her? Stop stealing from her now? Or even give her money for food? They make it obvious that they feel in retaliation for one not having sex with them. They're so gross. Because the opportunities for international people intelligence agency, major The electricity kind of show. Entonces, él tiene una novia que tiene un apartamento con un cuarto. And he would be embarrassed that she would find out about me. So it's like, this is more public than a lot of people. If they don't see the comments, they act like no one is reading. I need to finish reading that. Let's live together at this stage. Oh, my bank account statement. And I have what? 8.19 50 cents and 75 cents. Okay, we're good. Lord. So 8.19 cents, 50 cents. Oh my god. My God. I foresee based on the movies and really that I want to figure things. Then I come back and to get her fucking girl. What they're planning is they're extremely dangerous. They're disgusting. They terrorize people so that people don't get more money. And then they're like, oh, we honeymoon a year in her apartment and now she's pregnant. So electricity will be well about a month before she was to have the baby. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? And then they go on eventually and they go to start with. I never know when to start with them too. Then they're like, ese año que we pretended to be living with her. Mira, mira, mira esto. Fulano, wow, este baloncerista, mira todo lo que me dijo que lo hubiese hecho a ella. Y ella no se quiere enterar. Mira esto, todo lo que Marilyn me dijo que lo hubiese hecho a ella. Este bebé de todos nosotros. Until I die, hola, yo también lo primero. No, it's really killed me. Some people, the ladies sometimes they reply like us to the FBI ages. Guilt over like many patterns of behavior. Because if their parents are like, yo también lo aprendí así, yo también lo aprendí, mira what you lo aprendió. And adding a few people like pretending they're ignorant. And then they go and confess to someone or basically character of the person or the rest of the conversation. People saying, no, 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 no. Like that was him seeking, like, yeah, yeah, I approve of your son. Not what you do. Sometimes they go on, there's tapos hombres que no quieren a toda la gente que la opinión en el otro lado. Y yo continué la conversación y llegó a que hemos estado envuelto. I apologize to a few people that about her had sex with her and his mother. Yeah, él hates her. Y más pastor. I'm finishing reading this on spam from email that I received from you. Oh, like now it's the husband. Also, do they get scared? Or like, ¿cómo que ella sabe quién yo soy? Y que papi no la violó a ella. Y ella no causó el divorcio de papi. So everyone's like, just write to her that you're Jay. Just write a letter. Like, no escriban un nombre completo porque entonces va a decir, yo no conozco a esa persona. A ver si te responde y se las pegó a ella con un tal Jay. O con Jaden, porque es la manera que ellos se besan, me imagino. Me imagino la manera que ella y Canina, que Nani esa se besan, me imagino que Iker sentía celos. Celos. Oh, a picture of my. Entonces, once says, this is possibly a relative, gente. Ojalá lo maten, hermano. Oh, then they get mad. They're like, nigga, stop making us look. What else? I need sense. I'm reading too much until I'm some people. Y qué asco. ¿Qué se hacía mamando allí diciendo de robarme mi dinero? Y de robarme mi casa y mi vehículo. Dan un asco, gente. Ella se hace pasar por mí, ella es buena y buena en Berlín, and they're like, dan un asco, entonces hoy ella va así tarán, gané. Gané. Aileen dijo que me la siga mandando. Gané. Una asquerosidad. You can decapitate teenage and the lady swelling so small as you can decapitate my humming small as well as cells. The makes no money and the waves. And then everybody just this is por qué teenage and the lady so no joke. The one that was the fire price are the bosses. I should write it on my something else. So pretty. Yo no voy a estar con una pobre de internet. That's why one never goes on to 60 people. Look at me, Portona. What else? What else? Io mai pure tornare. Y ellos se avergüenzan de una, they're like, no, no le des dinero a eso, a morir ya, ya está pobre. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I have a picture that I took. Mia mai buratona. My girlfriend. Okay. Oh, because they think that I read through their conversations and then I'm gonna pick a winner to replace me. And they're waiting for that, literally. For real, they're waiting. They're like, well, if she read through all our conversations, saw all the pictures that we take together, then she'll be like, the fence replacement for me, but can they ask me? That's who they said decades ago that is the winner of their dig. So I go by that. And I wasn't seeking it anyways. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. Bored. Nothing's here. Where the things? Anyways. So this does not. What else? What else? What else? Is there? Wait. You can have it. I mean, so this is so great. This is my mini video version. This is my home. The way we're using Walker. One of the what else? Okay, that obvious. And maybe if I went on this, it wouldn't hurt me when they make me. They will get mad. They're like, literally, you're dancing with Joe. Is that his? What is it? I'm like, I'm acting out like at a show. Like, I actually like how he dances, but it's nothing sexual. Ew. So they would walk up to me and be like, oh, you might as well marry him then. Ew, ew, ew. I don't even remember that happening. For them, the divorce hasn't happened. People say that's why they rape. Disgusting. They can't be treating people too badly. They're disgusting. Ew, ew, ew. It's like, oh my God. It's like she got it right. This one got it right. This one got it right. This one got it right. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm so bored. They're so gross. What else? There's like Truly shopping at H&M. Este, lo que pasa es que Ginny Sandali lo lleva al cine con el dinero que se me roba, que me roba. So they're like, I'd rather keep menorita que con dinero robado me compro un Rolex. They talk like that. They're disgusting. I don't want to know what he says. What else? 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 They hire each other and paid for gifts with stolen money. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. You can defend what they have happiness. You can defend the generally business as well. You can defend the children and business systems. That makes me so get me see. This is my portal. Me and my portal. My bank account. I paso como toda esa oportunidad. Oye, Luis, it's me. They will want to take hostage of everybody. So they're like, Elias are doing y me quedé like, a lo que te dé la gana de la policía si te cogen. And they're like, did I hear yes from her parents? They still try to go through my parents' divorce like vagina. Oh, 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 they're gross. They're just so what else? What else? So what else? What What else? What was I saying? Oh, so then they want to show me how they exhibited my work at Target. They found a leash that was brave enough to pretend to be me and network with Bill and Ness. They always do that. They're so gross. Lo que se me pone, se haga pasar por mí, ellos llegan a Target and they release my artwork. They're disgusting. They're like, there's nothing proprietary. Exactamente. A la lengua, te Yeah, let's find out if they'll possibly with the bank account. What else? What else? What else? So does that count as a confession? Well said. On my Facebook account, let's see. What else? What else? I can network however I want. There's no, as long as it's legal, I can network however I want. Facebook is for networking. I'm networking, seeking the leeches out of my life. What else? They wanna what? Have a fist fight with Go Ryan. Sprinkle stitches, get Lonnie naked in the mud and me. You like Cal Ryan? Cal Ryan es ese presta su basura. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Kelly Ryan. She stays in my homes at the work permission, steals my vehicles, and sends my money, steals my money. You can decapitate my homies, let us know sisters that rape me, steal my money, and get into my person. They're disgusting. So, minoritas todavía I don't need to know. What else? There's a bit. They're looking to see that I pick someone to finish the job of embroidery to build a nest, and they're like, that's who we're picking to suck our tits. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I'm surprised that the screenshots didn't pop up. What else is it's the same one thing. And what else is there? What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. So I posted it on Facebook. You can hang. So pretty dinner. I was how pretty they were, and the oof. Some people want to see that. Now that I think about it, la cabeza colgando, el cuerpo así crucificado como Jesucristo, pero de un palo muerto para que la gente lo vea y así dejen de robarme mi dinero. Y dejen de quedarse en mi casa sin mi permiso. Dejen de robarme mi vehículo y dejen de estar getting away with receiving money. My favorite language. Right? You know what that is? Just right there. Uf, una foto no sé, hombre. If you do that, the camino joven chiquito, they should stop stealing from one immediately, no? what else? What's going on? This- Oh my god, right there. Um, yes. Oh my god. Why time? I'm not even interested in seeing this. Oh, if I just click on map. So hay un palo de mango que está en la escuela. Ah, sí. Entonces, ahí cerca de la vibra del campo de Jason Dalires. Así como ella se promociona como un vibrador. Y, ay, fo. So you can hang her there. Esa es la esposa favorita de ella. You can hang her with them there. Where is this radio? Satellite terrain. So, there's a mango cheese. What about that tree? Right there. Oh, there's a mountain there. That's crazy. That's a lot of terreno. That's a lot of terreno. Anyway, so you can hang them there. That's a problem. And my parents live in Bulgaria and stuff like that. My mom lives there. Well, there's a piscina there in that room. Oh, cute. What? What else? Where is it? There's a Jalaperia Lorenzo. Most people can see it too. You can have body there too. What else? What else? What else? Let's talk about this. Entonces, si toda esta gente en esa casa van colgando uno a uno como ahora hasta que se seque, se pudra, no se quieren. Y las maestras, las nenas que son buenos, pueden desde la ventana de los salones del tercer piso. Y si algo los ve allí colgando, no violen, no roben dinero, no deben de pasar hambre como yo. Porque eso es lo que pasó en estos tiempos. Eso fue eso. Ay, porque no, eso se acabó encima mientras los you can decapitate your citizens, systems, rape me, steal my money, and get away with money. You can decapitate la leech. Jimmy Jam la leech es necesario, que es la favorita de ellos, que pretende de mí. Divisan la relación, gente, divisan la relación. La tipa una puerca, una asquerosa. What else? Then you can have my siblings, I believe, Lorenzo Acevedo. What did Lorenzo Acevedo? You go to Lorenzo Acevedo, you can handle. What else? What else? Mira, en un momento you can happy to Yamaril's Gonzalez, but I'm just late the one. Oh, puedo decir una situación. Tú sabes nadie de eso. Toma una ese terreno. Y ese boquete detrás de mi palma, son cosas de verdad. If behind el palo de mango down from John's Museum, throw them there. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? If I ever want to build something down, some of the bones. Like a married couple. Please do. Esta menurita jode. Es una vividora asquerosa. Trying to ruin la vida de la gente. Ella está tratando de matar a Gaby para quedarse con él. Da un asco. Era un marriage con él, un do-over de todas las bases donde él estuvo conmigo. Para enseñar una foto de cómo ella pudo ser mejor que yo. No sabe nada de mi vida. Ella solamente sabe lo que yo quiero decir. Dan un asco, gente. Dan un asco. All of them. Okay, I plan to visit the beach today again, Mom. We're gonna be happy. I'm gonna be in your plátano loco. Say Jorge, you're next with my mirada. What else? What else? What else? These people are disgusting. They steal my vehicles. They stay in my homes without my permission. They murder people just for the fun of it. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. O sea, para que se acuesta y que con el doctor como si yo fuera Ginny Zendaliris Lorenzo Suárez que dice, ¡oh, un doctor! For real, that's why they even caused this onto one. Porque alguien quiere decir, con ese me estaba acostando yo la noche antes, que era San Valentín. El tipo es un puerco. A ver si me gustan los doctores. Oh, dan un asco, gente. Dan un asco. Anyways, this one says it was like no, it's on my worst. No más gente, they're like, ¿y cuálita le gusta? Yeah. What else? They're pretty to someone. wanted to make it seem like I hate the ugly people so that they can kill me. And then like, you can today it's April 18th, April 2020. Off of Dallas Cohen. I just thought that it was wrong. Yeah, so it was. I could be shopping. What else? But she has other duties that she does. Enforce policy and create policy or agree or disagree to policy. When she is at work, the use her as a joke. That happens with every one of the governors. That happens with every one of the governors. And they want to move his state as a going to casa, and that's why they put her sometimes in permanent places. Like, no sé qué learning. Si me is learning. Y está celebrando que si no se queda solo, ella va a ser la mujer de Virtual. No, porque si tú crees que es menorita, ay, menorita. Ay, menorita. Ay, menorita. Ay, sí, es que mami. Muy paper. 2 days. I don't have to. O ellos no envían dinero, yo no sabía usar PayPal sin acostarse con bromas. Dando un asco, gente. Dando un asco. They want for one to beg them to please these people. Because they motivate one. They want the one. Does she create fake accounts? She's like, no, deja de estar mendigando la torta. Y diciéndole, pero Jimmy, regálame dinero a través de PayPal porque tú me robas dinero. Because one doesn't give them the satisfaction of the conversation, they fake it. And then they show it to people, they're like, literally, they confer very grossly decades ago when abusing other people or when explaining the state crime towards me. They're like, if you don't show up to create the conversation, then we're gonna fake it. And there's gonna be screenshots everywhere. And your future husband won't ever want you. It's like, ya lo conocí en Tinder, ya me está mamando la tota y no sabe ni quién soy. Beyond, like, disease. Y ella se cree que esos screenshots de conversaciones falsas que ella creo yo, are gonna affect me. They affect me with people. Like, you need to clarify this. Como que ella se caga encima de tu nene y el nene se come la caga. That's not true. They're disgusting. Una minorita como groupie. Berenice Reyes is a groupie of my siblings too. Fo. Dame más, bebé. Dame más. You can make advertising gender as far as they you can advertise because so that you can practice the you can make advertising. Please stop sending money as soon as I made this book on Facebook. They're done. Made it up if we try to. They're done. They're so nice. You can become a really good. You can become like a good necessary. You can become a good necessary. You can become a good choice. You can decapitating a means or sources and read me assuming and get no everything. I don't need to prove anything beyond that they steal my homes and my vehicles, other than my dad has provided already to the police decades ago. I don't need to be like, Sargenta and Tambala Blaya and it's intercambio vender. Son prostitutos ilegales y their sex acts, so se están tratando de vender. It's happy that the faces are here. Oh, I would be like, Sargenta and Tambala and you know, person. Unless that information compensation references, you can come to that person and you have to understand the system, just understand the situation. This is very important. Anyways, it just esto sería así. Llega tomorrow at 8 Esto sería así. And the reason here is my dad. I picked the doctor from Canvas. He was to say that some kids in British el tipo es un bruto, es un labrador with the entire staff. Imperial running was something different. Pero violó a gente urbana, pues simplemente la tuvo. And that needs to be the doula of my kids. I won't let her near my babies like that. Para que me viera la vagina. Ew, he's not a part of my life. And he doesn't get it. These aren't his babies. Because I'm used to letting me generalities be the doula of my babies. He went on to rape. I just picked her name out of the try here for what else behind the scenes. He wants to torment me. The Christine's out because he has a college degree. That she's more Jada than Kelani's mother than I am. El tipo es un bruto asqueroso. Pero in preamble, I tell people beware que la leech is trying to say that my kids aren't my kids before I even pop them out of my vagina. El tipo es un puerco, un asqueroso, una basura. Una basura. No me respeta porque Gloria Nilsa arranged marriages for me, so he treats me as the law because I never have sex with him. So he's like, you, I need to kill you in self-defense. You refuse to do your wifely duties. People go to therapy when there's no sex in a relationship or no compassion. Not kill over sex or porque no tiene a alguien en la casa que le cocine comida. El tipo es un bruto, un asqueroso, una basura. El tipo es un puerco, una asquerosidad. And he has groupies and my siblings, they're all like, yay, Team Christine Selenkov. Ahora que vimos her birth certificate de Jake and Lonnie finally. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, entonces I don't need to talk to anyone. I'm like, beware of La Leech. Just trying to take my babies away from me so people listen to what he says or does behind the scenes and press charges against him accordingly to what they witness. I don't need to congratulate Marisa Echevarria Gonzalez and say, thank you for reporting that. Your pimp is trying to kill me. And you report it to the police all the time because you get jealous. You're like, my pussy is more important than he doesn't get it. That's because it's your pimp. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They have groupies that behind the scenes did my siblings take hostage. You can take Abitian Marilis, Echevarria Gonzalez. Did my siblings take hostage Christine Salonkov and they're waiting for me? And they talk to her every day. They're like, hermana, que parió a Jade Kelani. Because then they start gaslighting and lying. No le puede ser, no llegó aquí porque a mí no le interesa el bienestar de Jade Kelani, ¿ok? Aquí en este papel dice que es Christine Selenkov la madre de Jade Keilani, ¿ok? Entonces, ¿cómo hacemos con Keilani? I mean, de Jade, ¿cómo hacemos con Keilani? Does it not say the name of the doctor? We had laughed this decades ago. Look at these birth certificates don't change much. Like como el de Puerto Rico, mine has looked like this for ages since I know myself. So the format, we've seen it. I think I have relatives who have babies in these areas. So what is it? The doctor is it listed here or is it? I can't tell if that's like the address. I can't. This is possibly the address. Anyways, as far as I can tell, there's no doctor here listed. So we love some of us in preambles like, ¿qué va a decirte Keilani? ¿Quién la parió? And they're like, pues Keilani es huérfana. But they're mixing in their play pretend sex slavery with my personal finances, and I hate that. They're sex addicts, so they play pretend with my life and with my actual money. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate me how many sons that rape me to steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. Ew, ew, ew. Él no me puede violar mis derechos because I haven't started a relationship with him. El tipo es un bruto, una asquerosidad. Ew, 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 ew. They leech and they have leeches, so the more las maltratan, the more they suck their dick. Because they're used to that gross environment. Uf, no me quiero imaginar cuánta gente allí se lo mama ilegalmente for. Porque that place is full of rape babies and illegal hoes and sex slaves. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate me. I mean, sweater sons of sons that rape me, stealing money, and getting away with your same money. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? This kid is annoying me. Whoever sends me this message, as long as it's not Jaden Kinglani being abusive towards me, as to separate Jaden Kinglani from me, you can kill whoever sent me this message. I need money, no sustento a través de palabras that they're gonna use to rape later. ¿De qué están hablando? Por 20 años más. Del diablo, ¿te acuerdas cuando este se hizo pasar por yo soy Sánchez? Y entonces le envió este mensaje. ¿Y qué ustedes creen de esto? Oh, eso era cuando el link estaba en San Antonio. Diablo, sí, ¿dónde está el link ahora? Oh, en Milwaukee. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Pues yo quiero tacos ahora. Oh, didn't I say that? Since 2020, has this an FU towards them every day? For real. I want them dead immediately. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. He wants to literally grab my child like if it's this that doesn't feel and give it away to someone just for fun. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. And they hire groupies to help them that are even more disgusting, gente. Ew, ew, ew. The groupies dan un asco. Ew, fo. Ew, 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 ew. In the meantime, it's later, it's good morning. They want to scream at me and be like, este bebé le pertenece a mis hijos. ¿Y quién es la puta que parió? They're disgusting. I had to laugh with one of my siblings that steals from me. Because she reads my mind. She's like, this bitch, I better lie with her. She's going to kill me right now. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Sunset Stanley. You can decapitate las leeches que me quieren violar, da un asco. Did they go on to invade my privacy? O es que Lani, déjame ver tu birth certificate. Ah, pues si tú no lo tienes, eso quiere decir que tu mamá no te quiere. They're asquerosa, gente, una basura. Nada para acostarse con el girl. El pene del girl aquí. Estas son ellas. Ya llegué. Es... For real, dan un asco, gente. Dan un asco. Son una basura. Son una basura. They are gonna end up needing a hip replacement. People have explained it to them for decades now how gross they are. Ew, ew, ew. And they don't get it. They're disgusting, and then they're disgusting. Fuck. Ew, ew, ew. In the meantime, this is so mean. This is so mean. So now I would be calling my daddy and say, okay, different situations. I did like the coronavirus thing in 2019, 2020. So I'm working on that, on influencing for people to use what's available. I don't like clothes being in the landfill. I don't like poverty. I don't like hunger. I don't like boredom. I don't like homelessness. So I'm working on that. And then while that's going on, Jada and Kelani have been separated from me because mostly everyone in my family of origin son menoritos y menoritas. that they get jealous of the attention that I get. It's my own dad. So I'm currently like dealing with this on a personal level. Well, I tagged the FBI in this post, NATO, Interpol, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Justice Department, the what is it? The Justice Department, International Criminal Court, so I can get money from people. Hopefully, stop stealing from me and getting the way we receive money and stop stealing my homes and stop stealing my vehicles. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I was never safe from yesterday. I miss Jaden. I miss Kailani. So they want to be me so badly that they're trying to kill me. They're so dumb. Just like Mickey Mouse, they put on a costume of the people can do it. Like people imitate Cher all the time. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? In the meantime, I'm parenting from far away to the best of my ability. What else? What else? What else? What else? I can't be there first. For when I die, people don't do the opposite and don't attend events. But then something else would have sold out somewhere else, possibly. So I'm being patient, but I could have just been at home Netflix and chilling by myself. Not being so vocal. I'm not at the game, but have fun. So essentially, I need to like, but influencer based on my convictions. So as many events as I can, including toilet paper. So that well, then that part was explained to me. I'm like, I didn't want to be poor. Because some people call me a test tube baby. They're like, your parents guide you to the point of something else when they're like, oh, whatever. Instead of you doing your thing. What else? And I could have achieved this without being poor, but that's why they steal from me because they're like, well, my mommy was in the game. Y no es que no hablan. Porque one day they're gonna be like, canto de ridículo. Como que you sold that out without me being there. For real. That's what I expect, at least from one of them. One day and then be like, well. It's okay because while I was in Florida, I was at the beach there. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. I want to shop. I want to shop. What else? Today. Me laughing. That's me. That's They want to take me hostage, Anamala, so that I'm part of their tribe-ish and I get raped. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're disgusting, gente. Fo. Esa tipa que se vende hasta la hija. Ew. Ew. And if you don't know that, that's illegal. It's so wrong. Ew. And that's them. For. Ew. You can decapitate me on these sons that rape me, that's how my money goes. You can decapitate someone like you can decapitate. This thing someone she stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way where you say money, steals my money. You can decapitate Survivor, you can decapitate Gabriel's Carrera, steals steals and Gabriel's child support money. You can decapitate Benjamin Soderson sons that rape me, to steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate anyone that's trying to separate Jaden Kanani from me by stealing my money, get in the way of me receiving money. It's April 19, 2020. Did he rape me with Christine Song a couple seconds ago? In my home? There's a video of it. They used to take me hostage from my parents' home and rape me. They're so disgusting. To me, it's just a doctor. That is up striker. Ew. You can decapitate Benjamin Soderson sons That had raped me, that steal my money, get in the way of me receiving money. They're disgusting. You can decapitate in the barns. They are groupies. Or pimp de ella. You can decapitate the Señora Miriam Lorenzo. They are groupies. They're so gross. You can decapitate Caro Cristina. Whatever her last name is. Dan un asco, son una basura, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Diana Acevedo Perez. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Carolina Chavez. You can decapitate Muñoz Carrero that steals Jaden's and Canoni's child support money. You can decapitate everyone that's caused my anxiety, my depression, my poverty, my starvation for more than 30 years. You can decapitate everyone that's caused my homelessness and my starvation and my dehydration. They want to be able to talk about diarrhea. For real. She's dehydrated. No, pero mira un Pedialyte y un dildo para eso no resolvemos. They're rapists, murderers, and thieves. They're disgusting. They're aggressive as fuck. They enjoy hearing one saying the word fuck. It's emotional. Have you seen their face when one says fuck? It's just a word to me, like Snapchat that just popped up. Banana. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Berenice Venegas. You can decapitate Richie Hill. You can decapitate whoever sent me this message. As long as it's not Jaden Canoni being aggressive towards me, that's to separate Jaden Canoni from me. I know what they're up to, trying to steal my children from me. That's why I don't talk to them privately. And then they go and say, well, she must be a child molester then. If she doesn't show up, this is family, gente. Yo estoy aquí con el primo de ella, que es bien buena gente. Eso no rompe el plato. How many criminal records do they have collectively? Ew, even on the DL, because some people are like, I didn't report that rape. But people know about it. Ew. Da un asco, gente. Da un asco. For real, did the FBI coordinate for Kelowna's doctor that was gonna deliver her to go on vacation that weekend? So that I would be like, surprise, whoever was in the hospital. And she's like, why do I need to go on vacation? Why do I need to say that I'm on vacation? Or the doctor that was on her way to deliver didn't arrive on time. I was like, I don't want to be. Oh, for real. Do they know me that well that they're like, we don't want to be raped? We don't want to like show up on a birth certificate and then be named the mother of the child when we aren't. You can decapitate Sarah Francis, no una basura, una asquerosidad. They're like, Ellie didn't have a grandma when she was growing up. You can do whatever you want with her. For real. Y me están mendigando por sexo y creo que se mate hoy. For real. Yo quiero que él se mate hoy. You can decapitate my homies, daughters, sons, and sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. They're disgusting. They spilled out a hate crime towards me decades ago. Decades ago. They're disgusting. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicles. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? That's what I'm in the mood of. That's not nothing. Oh, le just be styling esa también. Even she's pregnant. If that's a rape baby, se puede matar. What else? 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 They're disgusting. They're disgusting. What else? 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 In the meantime, heading over to HEB soon. That was from yesterday or the day before yesterday. What else? What else? What else? What else? I want my money back. Once I'm financially stable, I'm suing my homies, daughters, and sons and getting my money back. I hope like a lot of people die that day. When a judge finds out like who stays in my homes without my permission, who steals my vehicles, who gets in the way of me receiving money. Now, obviously, there's some people that they put guns to their heads so that they get in the way of me receiving money. That's up for the FBI to discern who is guilty or not. Ew, 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 ew. They want to turn around and say that that's him kicking me out of my own home because I don't have electricity, so I'm considered squatter right now. But why am I considered squatter? He steals my money so that I'm seen as a squatter. El tipo es un bruto, una asquerosidad, un menorito que no entiende lo que es el dólar. Ew. Dan un asco, gente, dan un asco. Son una basura, son una asquerosidad. This was earlier, no, that was yesterday. This was earlier. Ellos son menoritos, play pretend. Fo y eso, uy, fo. Qué asco. Qué asco, gente, qué asco. Eso no es un hombre, eso es una basura. Ew. Qué asco dan esos tipos. Ew. What else? God, that's cute. What's Jackson Cakes? And Kate. Is this like a real one? What else? Oh, cute. What else? I'm gonna start podcast. I want to start a podcast on Joy Face. Like for real, with like a healthy lifestyle all over again. Or and with people that I'll network with. Or what else? 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 Or what is it? Or just post randomly for myself and for people to see. I want to. Oh, the power of interest. I haven't been in a while. What else? 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 You can decapitate my hammy sort of sense that rape me, steal my money, get in the way of receiving money. Do some people say that this is a case of this in court would have been months, and also because he terrorized me, and I'm strong for this because I'm like, oh, I'm just here reading this book and drinking water. Like, I'm fine. But it's because I don't cry, I don't whine, I don't have anyone to pester with my life story, and I don't want to pester anyone with my life story. That this getting them killed in self-defense for me through a court would have been a matter of months, I've heard, but because he's had so many people rape me, that me seeing these leeches in court would have depressed me so badly that I could have become depressed and killed myself over, like, really, leech. Looking at the judge, you're just gonna sit here and just talk to me about the abuse towards me without me having money for self-care. Because then they become a leech to one. It's like you're leeching information from me, I'm having to hear all of this. So that's why people are like, let her roam, let her wander, let her remember everything. I did remember everything in 2020. I just wasn't able to express it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Let her gather, inviting herself, and we see her reaction. Dan un asco, gente, dan un asco. Dan un asco, son una basura. Son una basura, son una asquerosidad. So if I were in a courtroom setting, I would be crying, I'd be like, Kristen said I got raped 3 days ago. That's the video. And he would have been. Oh, I just saw the word cards here. Chris Lawrence. What else? Karl Marx. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Some ladies' college. What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate me. Sort of sense that average. Is he trying to kill me? I just saw the word grandfather because he can't go and, like, personally go on. Yeah. What are they so coming at? He wants to cut off my ears, so I never listen to music. And he's like, when you date, oh, that will be ever. Then you'll have songs written about you that you can listen to. El tipo es un puerco, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate me, Benjamin Suarez on his sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of my money. Beep beep. Anyways, Capital One wants their money back, and I want to pay. Who's gifting me money today? So what they do is they talk to people. They're like, "Voy a enviarle 500 pesos." After her like Capital One post, because they possibly killed your daughter that way. Sadly, hopefully she wasn't a leech seeing her from me. That's why I don't shed a teeth. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So they say, envíale más que 500, a que se come los 500 enteros voy con hambre y no paga la tarjeta de crédito. Entonces yo le voy a decir a la gente, se le envió $500 y no pagó la tarjeta de crédito, no le envíen dinero. Lo gastó todo en comida. I'm gonna do it, Ramón Lorenzo, and be like, ahí hay comida. O la casa ya la embargaron de que se con el FBI, porque they turned them into legal prostíbulos. Las liches, gente le bailaba en los balaustres pretending to be me. Entonces, what else? What else? You can decapitate. I'm in the mood to kill Kristen. I got this on my vagina. Up close. Pero she didn't know that I picked her over like a TRICARE website. I'm like, well, I pick. And I wanted a female. For both birds. I wanted a female, but a man ended up delivering. Possibly someone that he got to rape me, and he's like, el doctor no llegaba, and they're like, we're all like, we've all been here with our provision, and we have to deliver this baby. I was the whole up behind the scenes. They're disgusting, and that's why I don't associate with anyone. And I'm like, I'm having coffee here with Christine Seneca to deliver my baby Kaylani. Well, she didn't, but I can't. It was a male that delivered Kaylani. What else? What else? What else? They're disgusting. They're disgusting. You can decapitate my homie as well as sons that raise, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. I didn't invite them in my bedroom. Ever. I want to get back to stitching. This is what I love to do. What else? What else? What else? This I love to. Anyways, what an audience nante. Known leech with possibly a leech that I don't know exists and is a leech. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Decades ago, he said, pick one for me to kill. Porque you like their music so much, and I'm in tune with someone right now, having sex with. And he said, I know who you'll find the prettiest, but you won't fuck based on your reactions of when people talk about them. So he killed that one. What else? What else? What else? What? They're disgusting. They're disgusting. What else? Porque no mató a Berenice entonces. What else? What else? What else? What else? A Mariana Daza. Okay, Mata Sunset Stanley. Pero they have their resign days, people say. These leeches that steal from me, Chelsea Rose. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They just don't know how or when. What else? You can decapitate Berenice Venegas. I sent her this text message. What else did she say? I'm gonna like every picture, and then she's like, "Guys, I don't kill her, dude. We're like in trouble. Getting her pop out of her BMW that we steal from her. Let's get in our lowriders, porque we know how this is gonna end with her in an apartment on the west side." Ya Albert me lo dijo. Ramiro Gonzalez gonna offer her a job through Sarah Woolsey on the west side. She's gonna be living on the west side. And then she's gonna be living on the west side. She's from the west side of Aguado, Puerto Rico, so Carlito me dijo que she used to live on the west side of San Antonio. She wants to live. So just because she says, I like to take a picture, doesn't mean that behind the scenes she wasn't with these people. Saying, guys, how do we get her to the west side immediately? In a wheelchair? I love Central Park. You can decapitate these leeches. They're disgusting. They're trying to put me in a wheelchair, trying to rape me. So they joke about, like, what if we put her in a wheelchair? Then she'll let us rape her. You can decapitate Marilisa Chavarria González. Eso dice. You can decapitate Gustavo Cáceres. You can decapitate Gloria Margarita Cartagena. You can decapitate Sonia Alvarado Chapman. You can decapitate Ramiro Gonzalez. That traffic me into a job that I don't want. Almost. You can so they traffic me into poverty to offer me that job. They're disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Berlin Jean. Que es un asco. She stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way when we're saving money. Did the whole skit of like, oh, we just got back from Portugal. While I was working there without food. They're disgusting. They're disgusting if she's still with him. Ew, ew, ew. They sometimes pay somewhere as a friend or a customer. Can you just ask me for Arlene? Where was I last week? Porque Arlene me pregunta. Sí, fuera la prima, güey. Dile, pero ni nada de eso. Tuviste toda la semana pasada que no te había que ni un día. Yo estoy pendiente a mi schedule, no el de las demás personas. Y el de Berenice a veces cuando estaba en Nordstrom, porque estaba tan aburrida. I'm trying to figure out, like, you want to work for me tomorrow? Gabby, I got this, Berenice, without asking. Like, I just switched my schedule with Berenice, okay? What? What else then after I left? Gary stopped being a manager of POV and was in jewelry happy again. Hasta un abrazo me dio. And does she even want to work in Nordstrom and then? Ew, ew, ew. They're like, for that dick, for that aesthetic. We'll do anything to be the wife that works where he tells her to work. They're basura. They're so gross. You can decapitate Gabriela Heiser. You can decapitate Sarah Francis. You can decapitate Berenice Venegas. You can decapitate Menuri Soyashem, the traffic Kayla Barnes into Nordstrom para recordarme que le gusta a ella. Él se cree grande, él se cree que él tiene tantas mujeres, un harén de mujeres y hombres y que todos trabajan en el mismo sitio. Harén de mujeres. Posiblemente like very situated. My dad laughs and I'm unaware of it. Sometimes people gather, conglomerate. What? And they're like, what do you mean we're all fans of her? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate how many sons and sisters that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of me saving money. You can decapitate Kayla Barnes. Where's that screenshot that she sent me a message? Ew, 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 ew. Where did it go? You can decapitate Kayla Barnes. Esa gente son unos puercos. She was an illegal prostitute at the age of 5, staying in my homes without my permission. Él se la llevó en mi DM para la playa y la violó allí, o ella se dejó violar. They were gauging what I would have done to him. I'm like, nada. And it's like, okay, me llevé a Kayla Barnes, me llevé a Kayla Barnes. Ew, son un asco, gente, son un asco. You can decapitate Benjamin's daughter, son, and sons that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. I went to eat a Central Market today. Is this thing live? Oh, we're way past. The lady's having a chance to threaten me of like, but she can't explain. What is it that we do behind the scenes or we'll go to jail? That's why they're like, Aline, vente conmigo. Y empiezan, primero que nada, no quiero mi nombre ahí en Facebook, ¿ok? Te voy a decir una cosa, no quiero ni mi nombre ahí, ni el de mami ahí. Before one remembers that they steal from one. Y eso de estar explicando lo que sucedió, eso pasó de moda hace tiempo. So, como influencer te vas a ver malísimo. Y tú que estás pasando hambre te vas a morir entonces. And that's how they turn one. They're disgusting. Y esto se arregla de la crista de Ginny Dendaliris porque esa es la única que se lo mama, parece. Eso tiene infección o ya está literalmente negro a punto de caerse. For real, ellos matan por la que se lo mame. Dan un asco, gente. Is he like that too? Porque no queda exonerado de is he a trasher of people's lives. What else? What else? What else? What else? Is this thing live? What else? Oh, what's Jax and Kate? I close the page. I want to activate your email. So far, I want to financially stable again. What else? What else? What else? I'm staying money. What else? Is this thing live? What else? Yep, that's still live. What else? What else? What else? There's an egg crate foam puppet box. What is that? That's a pretty blue on the. What else? What else? What else? That's really pretty. What else? What else? What else? I make Play-Doh with anything on it. In pink, mint, and purple. In mustard. I love food coloring. What else? 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 So if one says I love food coloring, they're like, okay, I have the food coloring girl. I'm looking for a food coloring girl. I'm looking. Kiss. The whole mask of. What's next? Dame una oportunidad para demostrarte que soy hombre. ¿Qué carajo es eso? Then they kill one. They're like, te utilicé, me mamaste el el pene, porque luego me quedé con las ganas. Me mamaste el pene, ni te llevé a comer, o comiste más que pizza y te pude haber comprado mofongo todos los días healthy, ni siquiera plátano frito. El café, pues ayer me quedé con él y me lo voy a tomar con chile y tendalina y de ahora en adelante. For real. For real. For real. That's the discard of the narcissist. People saying. They're like, déjame demostrarte que puedo ser hombre. They fake it. They fake it. I've heard so many stories. What else? What else? What else? So, what is it? I'm like, poor. Oh, and then they're gonna be like, yo tengo a alguien que trabaja en Gmail y se metió en some of your emails, but that wasn't it. It was 2017 was all about narcissists. Oh, did Jane and Kehlani read this and they're like, is she turning into a bad person? Porque it's just they go on to say what else? So I'm like, David, this man's been raping me. Ignore that individual. I have no one to talk to. He's a narcissist, Arlene. Just keep it in your head. He's a narcissist. When do I get to cops? This is almost like very much Sarah Francis knows about it. She doesn't want to get killed. So if I didn't call the cops or every last possibility. Or maybe Berenice did. Who else can I make to the garden? And show them that he's here. Well, I just want to be dancing. So let's do something without saying anything about creepy being here. Porque does he rape them? Like, are they actual, like, victims? Not Sarah, because Sarah's a cunt. She loves using that word. Pero is Berenice a victim? What else? What else? So she's very low on my priority list to kill in self-defense because I'm like, what if she's in a cruise? She misunderstood, slept with the guy, and then he took her to Puerto Rico to orgies to get raped. Though that's what he says to me, and I repeat it just to the police. Does he mock me? He says, I never took Berenice to any orgy where she got raped. La llevé a la playa, la llevé a Cabo Rojo, la llevé a Coamo, la llevé a Fardo, la llevé a comer a todos lados. And they try to gaslight one so that one looks up and say, he's a murderer, rapist, and thief, which that he is because he steals from me. And then Berenice says, now that you have kids, we're ready to show you pictures of our honeymoon. And people say that's Berenice telling you didn't pick her to marry her. So she's telling you she marries and you're no backup stick. What else? How many kids do they have? How many did they throw away? Like literally in the trash? Is what I imagine they do. For real. For real. Anyways, ya está aquí de failure kidneys. Kayla Barnes. Work at Nordstrom, she said that. She's like, I use so much drugs. My kidneys are failing. I don't know what food is. What? else? What else? What else? What else? One last plug and then one last plug. What else? What else? I don't have a word. And just be silent. For real, el día que ella se ve. Who else? Oh man, I was looking for. And I can't hear. What else? What else? Anyways, just be silent. Just be silent. Y yo no tengo ropa y no tengo dinero. Oh, él quiere que ella me vea desnuda. Oh. Ew. Ew, 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 qué asco. Ew, the experiment ends when he kills himself or the police kills him. Fuck, I'm not killing myself ever. He made me do a cry of help when I was 18 and I took 7 pills of Fiorcet because Gloriana Yusa was starving me due to these terrorists asking her to starve me to rape me. So I made a known that I took the pills for my headache instead of food. What else? What else? What else? And I asked Marilyn and Lorenzo to drive me to the hospital. Are there cameras there? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? There are leeches. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo, que me roba mi dinero. She stays in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicles. Ew. Supuestamente he was at a party in my home. Like, I didn't know you were not going to be there. And I attended, so I grabbed some cash and I left. Apparently, that's the trend. I never questioned it. Like, that's my future baby daddy. And he apologized and said, I seriously thought you were going to be there. And I was being invited to a party where you were going to be there. What else? What else? What else? They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew, ew, ew. They stole my vehicles. They drove my vehicles. Without my permission, they stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my gold. Anyone que se lo quiera mamar. Oh, porque eso no piensa rehabilitarse, some people say. So he loves this ad. It's like anyone que se lo quiera mamar and collect money illegally or drive my vehicles illegally or stay in my home illegally is up for it. Muerto. Para mí él está muerto. 4 decades ago. So the Baumas aren't generous gifting money to one, neither the Macias, neither whatever that has the last name. They're so disgusting. And don't the Ledesmas have family here in San Antonio? They don't give money. They wanna be like, oh, for Easter, you can be there, pero Andrew me va a estar mamando las tetas al frente de ti while you have money for food and your kids are separated from you. Pick one, pick one. And for Easter, he's gonna be there. They're disgusting and they're disgusting. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of your same money. Otra que tiene familia en San Antonio, lo que quieren ofrecerme es mamarme las tetas. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo sons that rape me, steal my money and get in the way of your same money. You can decapitate the bombs. No, whatever Syra May's last name is, the Chavez, all of them. And keep my planet for myself. and buy a service marker. You don't have to. What? What else? Which is what it sounds like what I'm saying, but it is what I'm saying. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I keep checking my email inboxes and I don't receive money. You can decapitate me, have me inside of sons. That rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Leon Baker that I didn't want to see ever. You took me hostage in 2020, and then behind the scenes, they're like, but when is she gonna get here? So that we can be like, ha ha ha, must be your gray hair. Porque a nosotras todas, él nos llevó a comer, incluyendo your kids and Oh, I forgot. This is a In the meantime, I want coffee. Allá ellos sí se masturban pensando que what I got is gold back. Confirmation that he raped me, sexually harasses me, gente, while starving in a homeless shelter. While he's in court, possibly. Da un asco, gente, da un asco. Son una basura, una asquerosidad. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're so gross. They're so gross. You can decapitate David Ledesma. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, stealing money, getting the way of money. Oh, they're all in San Antonio. So that white party, the salsa party, where they were gonna kill JD's best friend, they already killed her. La peruana. Ale. So she invited me to a party to JD. I'm like, seriously, girl, I just want to stay home in my pajamas today and not attend. But maybe next time. I'm like, oh, I can kill them all. In self-defense in one night. I know martial arts. So, what else? 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 Then I thought, when was it? Like in 2022 or maybe last year? I'm like, oh, that white party they all wanted to attend. And then kill the girl and say that I killed her being jealous. Jealous what? Jealous of what? There's nothing here to be jealous of. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. So if she steals from me, stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, or gets in the way when you receive money, kill her now. Oh, I possibly to the police would have killed someone in self-defense, and they would have been like, I didn't kill yourself before the cops find out. And they're like, we just had one death out of all of us. So they sacrificed la Alexa decades ago, didn't they? In the meantime, I will talk about Hanover. What else? What else? What else? What else? Dan un asco. Dan un asco. Dan un asco. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of receiving money. You can decapitate Sarah Francis. You can decapitate Benedict Venegas. You can decapitate Juan Manuel de Lista that raped me in 2017. You can decapitate Gerardo Garcia, best sex ever. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I coincidentally like Ginny Dandalides, the Menorita's husband. And they all laugh at her. They're like, ¿cómo que me haces ever y no te lo dice a ti? All they do is laugh at her. Ew. I would never, but I went into it. I'm like, yo no lo voy a cocinar, yo no voy a planchar, no voy a hacer nada. Just for him to do what he needs to do. And then left, and that's why I don't feel deceived if behind the scenes he's mocking me. What else? What else? What else? What else? I didn't know he was her husband when I met him. He just happened to be very handsome. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm hungry. You can decapitate Lalich. Que una basura. Oh, he wants me to spend my Easter with his mother one day para que ella me mame las tetas. They steal my money, get in the way of me receiving money. They're like, but mom is in San Antonio and she can suck her titties. This isn't a case of like I'm a victim of theft from someone else and everyone in the family is poor or so self-reliable that it takes them like 5 minutes for them to be like, okay, let's interrupt this thing that we're doing here and give her money already. No, like they steal for years, for decades already, and all their answers are related to sex for the most part. Behind the scenes, they're disgusting. That's why one stars publicly, and none of them go on to give money to one. They're disgusting. Their leeches son asquerosos. In the meantime, Jerry Garcia to have sex with me had to give up his grandmother. Kill him already. Kill him already. Decades ago, they're like, well, you're gonna have to leave Laredo to San Antonio. And he's gonna travel every weekend. And they're all like, you're not gonna travel to San Antonio every weekend while you're in Utah? Like, why would I travel to San Antonio for this? They think they have a tribe and they're all menoritos asquerosa y asquerosa. And they want to add me to it to try to make me queen. And then find a reason to kill me and be like, we killed the queen. Now we need a new queen. Who wants to be queen and get killed? And that's how he plans to get rid of us. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I was at Barnes and Noble's Desert News, even like Kitchi Kitchi store. Over, what was that one, Ogden? There was like one place that has like cottage. That I missed. It was a much better time than spending times with leeches that have raped me or want to rape me. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Gente son una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew, 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 ew. What else? What else? Someone asked going to let me time when I to Central Market. I never thought about him. I don't need to either. Ew, 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 ew. He went on to walk into my bedroom when I was a child, if that's him. And he went on to get on my sister's bed for with this leech. And they pretended to have sex with Evelyn on her bed while this leech was having a conversation with me about trying to rape me. Decades ago. Decades ago. They think that I'm gonna take them on a date or take them as a plus one somewhere. Ew, eso no respeta, una basura. Un menorito así de chiquito no tiene. Fu, 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 fu. Ew, ew, ew. Así mismo están, estoy modelando, esperando que yo llegue. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Anyways, the library closes at 6. I have like $9 for food. I can get yogurt, maybe. Oh, everyone wants to know the White House's Easter program this year. Courtesy of Leech. What else? What else? Anyways, when do I block all of these? What else? You can decapitate Brittany Akerson in self-defense. This could be like real people that have nothing to do with him. Or what was the people that he killed? I think he steals a relative's pictures, doesn't he? I've heard. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. Those I just need to add people. I'm just blocking based on descriptions of what he said, like that he was gonna create. Facebook profiles so that I could pick up a mood of what conversation I want to have with him. What else? What else? None. My profile says I want no conversation with you. Down to the mixed mess furniture. It's like, ¿qué hago? ¿Qué hago? So that they stop trying to rape me. Ew, 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 ew. They want to tell me, pues mira, esta te vio en la biblioteca y dijo que el outfit que tenía estaba bien, pero quizás te hubiese quitado la blusa y te mamaría las tetas. Y por eso te robamos tu dinero, pero entonces darte oportunidad. Aileen, ¿por qué no abres tu corazón literalmente a las nalgas como hacen todas estas prostitutas ilegales? Y le das un canto porque deje de estar llamándome todos los días que vi el link, que no vi el link, que vi el link, que no vi el link, que vi el link, que no vi el link. Ese tipo es un abusador, una basura, una asquerosidad. What else? What else? What else? People possibly tell him what they think he wants to hear. Okay, Stephen. Supposedly. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Just be silent, gente. Mira eso. Just be silent. Como si yo nunca hubiese tenido una pieza de ropa, gente. What else? Anyways, con carne frita. What else? I'm bored, gente, como si yo nunca hubiese tenido ropa. O si nunca. Or as if Gloria Nirsa would have dressed me Miss Splash. For real, down to media con chancleta para que me puedan lamber los dedos bien. What else? What else? Oh, what What are they looking for? A good job from the kids? I don't know what that is. So they're like getting in the way of people. Porque they're like, esos nenes no le dicen a ella good job. Se consiguió un trabajo y no dicen good job. Están doblando la ropa bien. No estarán bochinchando en el break room, ¿verdad? Dan un asco, son una basura. They seek low quality and they get low quality. It's like surrounded by them. They're so disgusting. They think that they can fool people by showing up to a place such as a library with a leech in tow and that people don't spot the leech. Have you seen her eyes? Everywhere en la entrada baja, me imagino. One can see it. For I want to visit our house next week. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Just be silent, gente. Just be silent. In jail, hopefully, if she steals from me, but ideally, esto no se rehabilita nunca, da un asco. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Are they on? I'm gonna visit next week. What I wear? I'm gonna shop at Zara. What else? 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 I want to shop at Zara. Looks pretty if you want to see the view. The ocean's right there. What else? 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 What was she wearing? Is that my dress? Does she steal from me? Does she get in the way of me receiving money? Stays in my homes without my permission. Steals my vehicles. Le mama el pene y le dice que su nombre es Arlene. Este convete también, gente. Se queda en mi casa sin mi permiso. Me roba mi dinero and gets in the way of me receiving money and steals my money. ¿Quién más? ¿Quién más? ¿Quién más? Por eso no se taguea, gente. Por eso no se taguea. También se queda en mi casa sin mi permiso. Maneja mi vehículo sin mi permiso. Me roba mi dinero and gets in the way of me receiving money. What else? What else? What else? Mi familia, todos visitan este sitio, my family of origin. Jaden, Kaylani, and Vasa have been there already with their dad. Y no se taguean. ¿Por qué no se taguean? Porque uno le da screenshot and sends that to the FBI, says that Leech possibly bought the outfit money that they steal from me. Or she raped or he raped someone that night. Beware, que tal vez. Can't publicó la foto porque that doesn't necessarily mean that. ¿Qué awful? Yo no quiero encontrarme con eso allí. Yo quiero muerto antes que yo llegue allí. What else? What else? What else? And Melvin Lorenzo lookalike. Da un asco, gente. ¿Qué carajo es eso de menorito fo? Anyways, Ashley Graham. Para que me emocione, yo digo, las secretitas. This is me overweight. Yo tengo hambre, no tengo dinero. Literally my situation right now. Y él se cree que I'm gonna curb my thirst and my hunger with porn and sex until he gives me the drugs. Then he's like, okay, ¿tienes hambre? Ya mi pene está satisfecho, por fin. So, ahora droga, Alien, ahora droga. Todavía no hay comida ni agua. Ahora droga. Oh, porque he wants to pretend that that's how the world was built. That first people were smoking pot before they got to a bottle of water. To a knife to kill him. So he wants to try to lure me into sexting with him, then into drugs, or first sex, then into drugs, and then just tossing me as the junkie somewhere. He's like, ni los macías te van a dar comida si te ven por ahí en la calle lloriqueando que necesitas comida sin ropa, te voy a dejar all drugged en la calle. He's also done that already. Dan un asco, gente. And he wakes up every morning, la verdad, think of people laugh at him. Like, literally, nunca te va a invitar a una cita. People say that when he works up in hombre mode, it's like, oh, maybe Ali me va a invitar a una cita. And people are like, porque hoy te estás portando bien, no crees que ayer te portaste bien con ella. Ni easy she witness. Cómo le robas dinero y la basura que hace so that people don't give her money. Nene, nunca, nunca, nunca sácate ese sueño de la cabeza. Ya, eso es un sueño que nunca se te va a cumplir. La Raiza lookalike también. Porque Raiza me quiere decir que got a job that pays her well. And she's never missed a day. Porque he objects to giving me my money back because that was an adventure of he and I painting that he and I came up together with my parents and said, here, paint together, sell the artwork, and build a life together. With other people too, because my parents are like so awesome in the. It's like hasta el rey de España hubiese estado invitado. I don't know if up close Felipe. What? What else? What else? What else? What else? So he wants me to be all my life in poverty mode while él se deleita de los dólares from esas pinturas. Que he and I painted all because he's a man, he has balls and a dick, and he's satisfying Arlene. So he wants to be like, how would Arlene fall for her love? No one needs to fight for love. My mother cooked this dish of bacalao con vianda tan rico y arroz both Portuguese y en arroz con gandules típico con pastel adentro y morcilla made freshly in the home, cazuela homemade along with Breyer's pico. What are you in the mood for? Y ese leash se cree que yo tengo que empezar literally bajo cero arrastrándome. That's why he's starving me. A ver qué trabajo, qué CEO position. Wow, Arlene logró ser CEO de Gap. And now we're finally together. These are leeches, no tienen metas propias y son un asco, le roban dinero a una. En él se cree que yo tengo que luchar por nuestro amor. Para entonces, si luego que te empujé tan bajo, no te moriste y ahora te tengo que mamar las tetas. I've heard that there's people that go to bed with someone like that every night. Every night. No te moriste y ahora te tengo que mamar las tetas, pero te las mamo porque llegaste así, de Gap. Good job, congratulations on getting to CEO of Gap. Por eso es que te mamo las tetas, porque si no, you and I wouldn't have ever been together. In the meantime, hoy recibe 20 mensajes. So, the deal is que yo tengo que llegar a CEO de Gap, and maybe a good candidate as CEO of Gap doesn't get the position. Porque everyone knows that they're doing a menorito thing of, please pick me as CEO of Facebook so Sarah marries me. That was his pitch. I'm like, Mark Zuckerberg all the way. I don't care what he does. Also, it's not gonna be a good CEO anyways. I'm gonna have to. What is it? What is it? It's not a co-chair. Supplement with education wherever I'm talking about goodness in the planet. They don't Mark Zuckerberg all the way. What else? What else? What else? What else? Porque él dijo cuando yo veo tu cara, lo que me acuerdo es cara de culo. Like excellent pitch. What else? 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 I'm so bored. I'm so bored. You can decapitate Mark Zuckerberg if he stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of receiving money, steals my money. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that make me steal my money and get in the way of receiving money. I don't want anything with these people, not even recreational. Ew, 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 ew. Full. Once I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally for the harassment. I'm excited. And I'll possibly on Facebook, look at me with my cuatro babies. Other people say that the ones one achieve financially stable, one acquires like 5 girlfriends and wants to show them off all at the same time. Cuando se siente fuerte. So él va eliminando esa característica y así como se mata. No, I'm just doing this. It gets annoying that I need to add Facebook friends. And when I added Facebook friends, I didn't say, I have a way out. I'm adding people and they're going to give me money. He possibly went on to marry them all, asking them for money himself. He went on to kill some of them and stole their pictures, ability on their profile, and change it for something that he wanted. Anyway, so far those were the annoying ones. These are annoying because it's not like him and his random or just him and his brother reminding me. What else? 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 I'm so bored. I'm so bored. This was them earlier. So menoritos. So menoritos. Ew, 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 ew. Anyways, I'm gonna visit Aloha's next week. The food looks a lot better than I thought. And I want to take Jaden and Kimberly. Just be styling, gente, just be styling. Ella es bruta, no se da cuenta que yo tengo ropa en la foto, que people will question why then I'm not styling. People warn her decades ago. Did I meet her dad back then? He's just as dumb, or he was trying to talk sense into her. And they're like, for that aesthetic, I'd rather die and go to jail. So you can decapitate whoever steals my money, gets in the way of whoever steals money, feels like stalking. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? What else? I missed. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I miss Jaden and Kenani. I miss Jaden. I miss Kenani. I miss Jaden and I miss Kenani. The things that Jessica from Joyfully says about undressing Kaylani. But did he force her? I'm not the cops. I'm not the FBI. Stop wasting my time to see because there's possibly people watching or reading me that they're like, but we must know what is it that he and Jessica from Joyfully said about undressing Kaylani. The high existed before my birth. So on the day that they were literally taking my body out of Gloria Nirsa's womb, there were people dancing on a rooftop of a Hyatt. And I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous. What else? 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 In 1957. 1957 Wikipedia. Wikipedia so useful. What else? 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 So ella están matando. They have one already. A ver quién de nosotros llega primero a Wikipedia. Because I don't want people dying of starvation. What else? 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 I'm there too. What else? 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 I miss stitching. I miss stitching. You can decapitate me, having sweaters and systems that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of your same money. It's April 18, 2025. I mean 19. April 19, 2025. I've been starving publicly for 5 years already. No me enviaron ni 20 pesos para comida. Ni un outfit de ropa. Ni un regalo de cumpleaños. Ni una invitación a una cita. Ni un let's get together y te doy tu dinero. Here's the key to your home. Behind the scenes, they're like, wow, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, I fucked her, okay? You didn't. I'm not attracted to that. And I have here, mira, tengo la llave de la casa, mano. And they're like, okay. Entonces, ahí va una jeva. Esa es tu jeva, ahí voy yo. There's social like wannabes, they're sex addicts, they're so gross, so they infiltrate people's lives, talking about a person for hours, I've heard, to see what's good looking in you that they haven't had or that they've had already. Eso le va diciendo gente que es my husband, never. El tipo es un puerco, una basura, una asquerosidad. Jimmy Gendalit is one. Decades ago, gente, un aplauso para eso. For real, I don't want that leech near me ever. No. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate me on these horas and that rape me so my money and get in the way for money. Oh, for real. Are they what they do is they gauge. They're like, pues cuando mi hermano le envió ese mensaje, Ginny Gendalini me miró así. So me quedo con Ginny Gendalini. Porque alguien hizo así. Entonces Marilyn dijo. Y lo peor de todo, incluyendo al niño inocente, si no le dan dinero. Y luego me miró así. Entonces, y esta otra que estaba en la conversación se la voy a violar, la voy a matar y la voy a tirar por un río. Amárreme ahora mismo porque si no, la voy a matar. I've heard that that's how they speak. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. They're Latinos. Apparently, gente, they're Latinos. Una habla español, inglés y ellos no entienden nada. Dan un asco. Dan un asco. Ew, 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 ew. I went into 2020. Una cuenta con la foto de él de culo todavía. Esto es imposible. There's all these leeches verbally attacking me. That I'm like, if I get to Corazon Day Center just for a sack lunch that they don't provide, I'm not in the mood to get stabbed today. Porque I'm strong, but I was like so upset. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So I'm like, what else do I need to say? So I'm like, well, if I go the Jolanda route, maybe she'll say, like, this is what they look like posted on there, along with my recipes. So in 2021, I thought, I'm not going to go through Jolanda. First post her and then post a picture of them that she'll possibly eventually facilitate to me. So I'm like, what do I do? So I tried. I mean, plus I need money. I'm like, I need a confession. They're trying to kill me, right? And they're so easy for one to get that. Como que nadie tiene dinero para darme. ¿Y cómo que le va a preguntar a Eliseo?
Well, I guess what we'll do is
Do I have homes with them, money? And these are nephews? What else? What else? What else? So I got this. One was following me on Instagram, leeching. I looked it up on Facebook, found his other profile, and then the others. I with my tax money, I said to one of them, "By the way, if you're in danger right down here, is trying to kill you on a piece of paper." Oh, your brother's still great. Not quite like that, but it could have been it. I'm like, NATO, IRS, World Bank, write it down. Oh, because there's another speech that they know. It's like, kiss my pussy, lick my ass, and pay me for it. So I'm like, mira, asshole. My parents told me better. I'm just worth more than the World Bank. Just by standing or sitting or laying on the floor. So if what you're trying to do is to get me to be a prostitute myself, it won't work. I'm like, my mother was, no, she's dead. What is it? My grandpa was a feminist. My mother is what is it? But it's in the opposite where men provide. What else? What else? What else? Yada, yada, yada. Then he wrote on a piece of paper that Matt Martinez 2018 account on Facebook and Instagram. Is that Instagram? I'm like, oh, you still steal from me. Like, he could be homeless, he could be rehabilitated either way. He's not my kid, not my problem. I don't want to know anything about them ever. So I've just gone through emotions of sharing that, but I had been warned about it. It's like, Carlitos is gonna have a Facebook account where he's like mentoring people, like, hike, eat, so that he feels useful. My body steals my money to attend cruise trips. They're like, Ellie, what do you want us to do? I'm like, kill him right now. That was decades ago. It's like, seriously, you're gonna let me see pictures of him in cruises with money he steals from me? What else? 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 That was decades ago. I'm so disappointed. I still like. You can decapitate me, me, so the sun's the sunset, rape me, steal my money, and get no mercy money. I want to cook for myself. I want to cook for myself. You can decapitate Genies and that is on a society. She's was hoarder. I'm a woman. There's a difference. Why do you think they're trying to rape me and hold me hostage and keep me like a keepsake that they will possibly just to be like, you're like a regular woman, but around all of these leeches? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're not even attracted to me, and they're not even attracted to me. They're gorgeous, but not Carlitos. That doesn't happen to Carlitos. Pero go to Tesla on the side of the street. Wait, what was that? 9 years younger than me? Like, I'm just here waiting to receive money for food while he's sitting at the first church husband. And I'm like, oh, that happened again. That happened to all of them. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anyways, the library is closing, and I want to cook rice for myself today. What else? Oh, I turned it to a barn up, so I know what I've got there with that. What else? What can one do? Like roasted potatoes, sweet potatoes instead of mofongo. What What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm hungry and I'm ready for food. When do I get funded? Did that lady in the apartment complex that I didn't send to me go? Pedro was in the shelter area of the apartment complex. Yada yada yada, crying out loud that people can possibly hear in the hallway. Sometimes. And she just sighed and she said, go home. I don't know if she meant to herself. She was thinking about something else.
Yeah, I think they went.
The suspense is killing. Will they get decapitated or not? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I want to visit Puerto Rico. I want to visit Puerto Rico next week. Someone said. Tiny swimsuits galore. I need swimsuits galore, and I need swimsuits galore. Who's giving me money? In person through PayPal. I'm semi-stranded in San Antonio. I don't know anyone. He wants to mock me and be the Mars. Celebrate Easter with dildos all over their mouths. The Macias cut their nipples. Hey, ha ha ha, Jenny, Kelani, look at all these pictures and your mother isn't invited and there's food galore. And they're like, me avisa. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. This is why they go on causing poverty onto one, and evictions, and children being separated from one to try to rape children. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Y si esa no puede llegar a San Antonio, a verle el culo lleno de caca a alguien, desde donde quiera que esté, sea Florida or whatever, está. So, guys, what happened to the rooster? Did you finally nipple Pierce skin on his nipples with our nails inside? They're disgusting. Little ears, possibly half laughing, half hysteria. Look at not that I want to. How stupid we do. Stupid. But I need like a better lift. So I need more sopa de plátano, possibly my dumbbells back. What else? What else? What else? And then I'm getting these stupid. Possibly also. What else? What else? Until my Santa Lasma goes away. They're disgusting. None of them leeches can take Kaylani into a place to get her nipples pierced and get away with it unless they do on the DL. Only the mother can. Jaden still minorito, not 21 yet. Same thing. Only I can get approval for Jaden to get a tattoo, I think. Or is it 18? Either way, there has to be something that he can't get before it's 21. Alcohol. If they give alcohol to my kids, they could get in trouble for if I'm like, we're just here wine tasting. So he has self-control later on, or he's very smart and very much proactive with his life that he can handle the glass of wine-ish. As a taste for dinner. We want dinner. For dinner, because with food, I recommend alcohol with food. What else? What else? What else? What else? So they've been fighting behind the scenes. La nueva madre. ¿Qué carajo es eso? La nueva madre no existe. Y only I can take that into a place and get her nipples pierced. With her consent, obviously. I hope she doesn't get sick, but this is why they encourage the dad. They're like, make sure that your kids are at the children's hospital all the time so that the leeches know who the mom is. And that's how they kill children. They prey onto dumb dads. They haven't been warned by the mother, by the way. This is their, instead of like what to expect, what you're expecting. Here's the rundown of how they're gonna try to trap my children into marriage with them and trying to rape them. He's like, I know, like doesn't know them too. Porque I never think about them knowing each other. So I'm like, hey, girl, when I have kids, you have to be like, beware that my family version doesn't hurt them. What else? 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 Then behind the scenes, they're like, "Yay! We finally, guys, Ramiro closed that group chat. Sorted through. Arlene es la única que le puede mover las tetas a Kehlani. I mean Pearson. With consent of Kehlani. And behind the scenes, they're like, we have better options of mothers for Jane and Kehlani. What's so wrong with me? They're leeches. They're like, well, you don't let me rape you. You don't get to keep your kids. Why don't they kill themselves amongst each other and do themselves a favor? They want to survive the system. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate. Déjame usar eso. Sunset rape me. Este women and get another mercy. I have been in my apartment. Oh, this is so that people don't kill themselves or go on outraging. Like, I don't have Q&A time, but I may make one day when I'm like actually home all over again and I feel like very much clean. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anyways, I've been in my apartment without electricity for an entire month while the crashers violan en mi casa y roban mi dinero, se comen mi comida, se toman el agua sin mi permiso y me roban mis vehículos todavía and getting away with save money. So people want to know, like, what's the progress, what's going on, or that could be a coincidence. And it's also so that people don't pester me. So what did people comment on this? OMG, I had a great time. What else? What else? For real? Planet of is what people fear with a lot of these speeches. That's why they're like, no, you can't put your hand over her nose and her mouth at the same time because then you'll kill her. At least one of them tried. People say in my childhood. What else? 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 Anyways, I'm heading over to HEB. I'll be live on this. I have $9. There's a salad there. I'll get it. Oh, Southtown sounds amazing right now. But maybe they have the Caesar salad. And I can get there. Oh, please. No. What else? What else? What else? Entonces, él quiere matarme, starving me. Then whoever is a woman that wants to have sex with me wants to see me first through him. He's not my pimp. I don't have a pimp. He's disgusting. He's disgusting. Ew, ew, and then not everyone's on the internet. Or no one knows. Not everyone knows.